Hey, Christy, thanks for reaching out. Yeah, man, James Webb Telescope, James Webb Telescope. Oh my God, um, turning our understanding of the early universe on its head. Apparently, early galaxies were not small and chaotic. We're now able to see very early galaxies with this thing, and they are big and they're ordered, and that's turning everything on its head apparently. And I imagine that it's going to turn more, on its head and just bust our assumptions. We always think we know what's going on, and then we start measuring things and seeing things, and we're like, oh, we have a lot to learn. I love that. I love when we have to admit that we're ignorant of so much, because I think that's when we start to learn stuff. And I love space. I love our solar system. I love our galaxy. I love the fact that we are swimming in uncountable hundreds of millions of galaxies. It just blows my mind. Yeah, I've done Macbeth twice. I played a spear carrier, so to speak, not spear carrier, but I played a bunch of small roles in a big production in Seattle at the Entenmann Theater, which is one of the biggest theaters in Seattle. And watched the man play Macbeth and make every mistake possible. And it wasn't his fault. He was directed to do that, and he did it in the way that most productions do it. And he ended up getting laughed at. And I remember standing over to the side going, okay, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. And just trying to take notes if I ever were to play the role myself. And I got cast as Macbeth just maybe a year later, a couple of years later, in a smaller theater, but a pretty good one in Seattle again. And I had read a book called Of Jesuits and Witches. I don't remember who wrote it, but they were talking. It's all about Macbeth and all about why a lot of mistakes are made. The play is about a man who journeys into hell. He makes a huge mistake, and he ends up in a hell of his own making. And the play is kind of arguing that, when someone does something heinous like Macbeth, we have an instinct to say, oh, he's a monster. He's nothing like me. I'm not like that at all. When in fact, Shakespeare is saying, that monster is more like you than you want to admit. And that's the horror of the play. The horror is that Macbeth is very much like everyone who's watching the play. And the warning of the play is that any one of us could journey into hell. None of us are immune. So overarchingly, I kind of took that if you play Macbeth, you have to keep the audience in your pocket, in your pocket. You've got to keep the audience on Macbeth's side. You can't do anything to get them to laugh at you or to flush you or to say, oh, he's a monster, he's nothing like me. You have to, as you're going down into hell, you have to keep them thinking that they want to be with you. And a lot of productions, I feel like whoever's playing Macbeth, whoever directing the play, is winking at the audience going, I know he's a jerk too. We all know he's a monster. And we're all just going to laugh at Macbeth and poke him and say, oh, he's a horrible, and not admit the really horrifying truth that actually Macbeth is just like us. So you can't quail from the ghost. You can't be married to a bitch. Lady Macbeth is not a bitch. She's a criminal. There's a big difference. There are certain things that you have to protect. And if you do that, it's a really exciting play. And I got my way, and we got standing ovations about 8 out of 10 performances when I played it. And we extended the run. We had to change theaters, like it was a big hit. And I think that mainly it was just that we were doing it like Shakespeare wanted it to be done. But if you're interested in Macbeth, I would suggest that book, Of Jesuits and Witches. It opened my eyes. Okay, bye.